All right, so the supermarket today is in a mall, but before we even go inside, there is a parking lot specifically for bicycles here in Copenhagen, which is something I've never seen before. And so if you've heard rumors that Danish people love to bike, they are absolutely true. Now, the other rumor we've heard, specifically from Finnish and Swedish people in our comment section, is that the prices for groceries in Denmark are incredibly high. So let's go see if that's true, as well as check some availability of maybe some only in Denmark items or some unique food. Let's go check it out. And so the first thing you notice when you walk in is this is truly a superstore. Typically you walk into fruits and veggies. Yeah. In Copenhagen you walk into bras and panties. Okay, something new, something new. Let's find the food. And so I tell you what, I for one am pleasantly surprised with the prices here in the fruit and veggie section. I was expecting some crazy high prices, but they seem kind of similar to Sweden, to be honest.
Not bad.
What's unique about Denmark is they tend to do things per size rather than per weight. So for example, you have watermelons, 38 kroners, which is about this big, or you have your watermelon extra large for 48. So rather than weighing it and paying per weight, they sell it per piece, depending on size. Sort of unique approach. Oh wow, check it out. In Denmark, the cabbages are conehead cabbages. I've never seen a cabbage like that. Although still the price, not too bad. And so I guess this theme continues in the meat section where every item is per pack or per piece rather than every pack having a different price based on the weight, which is sort of convenient as a tourist because you know exactly what it is. You don't have to do any math. You know, 350 grams of this, is it more or less than 450 grams of that? So it's sort of convenient. And beside the meat section is this pre-prepared food section, which has some pretty good prices here. I think you can get a whole meal for something like 45, which doesn't look too bad. Not to mention a full chicken for 56, which would be good for a small family or a couple. Pretty good prices. It's amazing how much my price tolerance has changed in the past 5 years. Because before 2019, I think the world had cheaper grocery prices. And then once the pandemic hit, everything changed. Yeah. But in a post-pandemic world, these prices are kind of manageable. Yes, I would say.
Normal.
Oh, look at this. This is like a burger pack or a sandwich pack at the very least. You got your sliced up meat, got your buns and your toppings, pickles, condiments for 100. That's kind of a convenient idea.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Price, yeah.
And fair price too, yeah.
This is a very Danish thing.
This is
bacon liver.
Oh, it's like a pate, I think. It's like a meat paste and you put it on a cracker. And they've got a whole fridge of it. Yeah. Like a fridge and a half of it. Yeah, different types of pate.
Fish, bacon, classic.
Right, and they even got a Danish flag on it.
Yeah.
I think Danish people are eating a lot of pate.
With their bread.
Yeah. Probably quite healthy.
Yeah, I think so.
And so we typically show you guys the cheapest carton of eggs as well as the cheapest carton of milk on these videos. And with that, we are into the cheese and wine section, which it appears the wine section is the fanciest section in the store. And so the section is set up quite nicely with all the different countries across the top and then each shelf from a different part of the world. The cheapest one we found is 50 kroners, which is pretty affordable. And as you can imagine, some go up into the hundreds and even 200 per bottle. And they even have box wine, which I thought was a Canadian invention. Turns out many countries have it, but this is really where you can typically get some bang for your buck because it's in a plastic bag inside of a box. This is like university student who wants to be, you know, high-class drunk for the weekend. You get a little bit of box wine. Ooh, fancy. And here we have your good mood wingman, which they're calling chocolate milk, but I am noticing it is distinctly not in the fridge. It's got some syrup in the bottom. This might be a pretty yummy thing, to be honest. I think it's a sweet milk drink. Although, does milk need to be in a fridge?
Not every milk, I guess. And I heard that the Danish love chocolate milk.
Is that right?
Chocolate milk, yeah.
Okay. It looks like a staple thing. It says since 1951. This might be a childhood favorite for people of all ages.
Right.
It's like a rite of passage. Drinking your chakio.
Childhood.
Yeah. And so, just like that, we are into the beer section. Now, for my whole life, I never really heard of Carlsberg. I probably heard of it, but it wasn't like a famous brand in my head. But since we started traveling the world, Carlsberg is everywhere. Yes. There are whole countries, I'm thinking of Malaysia, where it's like they only serve Carlsberg. And the slogan is probably the best beer in the world. So we'll show the price of this one. Very Danish beer. 48 for a 6-pack of small cans. Not bad. Certainly a lot cheaper than Finland. And certainly, don't even get me started on the beer in Sweden. It's not even beer.
Oh.
So
4.6.
Oh, 4.6. Okay.
Percent.
I thought it was 5%, but either way, that's a pretty fair price for beer in a fully developed country. The alcohol prices are pretty good, and the wine the same, pretty good. And in a very smart grocery store decision, they got the chip section right beside the beer section. Because when you buy beers, you go, buy a couple of bag of chips too. So we can look for Lay's as well as Doritos flavors. And oh, wow. We got to buy a bag of that, Ivana. That's a must buy. So as you guys probably know from our previous videos, ketchup flavored Lay's is a very Canadian thing. It's the #1 chip in Canada by far. We got to test this and see if it's the same. It should be quite sour like vinegar from the ketchup. It should be really, really good. So let's buy that. First time we've seen it outside of Canada. And then cheese and onion flavor could be good.
Whoa, never heard that.
Barbecue flavor, salt and vinegar, and that's all you're gonna get for Lay's. And it's about 18 per pack, which is kind of a fair price. And then in terms of Doritos, you got standard barbecue, nacho cheese, and sweet chili pepper. Fair. Now there is what appears to be a local brand called Salling. And they've got better prices for bigger bags with more flavors. So I think it's a Salling chip country because you're looking at 10, so almost half price for a bigger bag. We're gonna stick with the ketchup, Ivana. We're gonna stick with the ketchup just to give it a try. But it does seem like Danish people are eating a lot of chips because it's a full 2 rows. Now, in terms of the coffee aisle, there is a huge section here of instant coffee, which, to be quite honest, for a refined palate like I have, it's more or less undrinkable. But we do have some coffee here of manageable price. It's about 55 for the cheapest coffee and maybe up to 80 or 90 if you're interested. And that's for 400 grams.
I think it's kind of expensive.
Kind of expensive for coffee. And actually all the brands are sort of unique, nothing familiar. Maybe Lavazza is the only one I recognize. And I guess Salling is the local brand because it's the cheapest one. By far, actually. Wow. I wonder if that's similar to Extra in Finland where it don't even taste like coffee. That could be muddy water, but it is a half price of everything else. And so typically in these videos, we show you the cheapest loaf of bread, which is certainly the Salling brand again, although it's not clear how much simple and white sliced bread Danish people are eating because the whole bread section is of various seedy and nutty textures. Not to mention most of it is dark brown, nearing black even. So I think they're more of a rye bread or whole grain or sort of, healthy bread type people. I, for one, was born and raised on sliced white bread. No regrets, baby. Now, they've got a product I got to shout out. Brioche hot dog pretzel style bun. That would be a good hot dog bun. Pretzel style brioche bun.
They love their hot dogs here in Denmark.
And I, for one, am here for it. Stay tuned for Ivana and I eating some hot dogs in the street because they're good and we like them. And there you have it, a pretty darn good pickle section with all different type of veggies, including pickled potatoes. Now, don't touch the jar. I don't know who's working here. Put the jar like this. Someone is about to buy that jar by accident because it falls off the shelf. But in the end, it's something new. Pickled potatoes.
First time I've seen it.
Probably good, no?
Yeah.
Should we buy some pickled potatoes and just eat them from the jar?
Really?
Sounds good. First time we've seen pickled potatoes. And so next up, we've got the oil section where somehow sunflower oil is cheaper than rapeseed oil or canola oil, we call it in Canada. I don't know how it's cheaper because isn't sunflower oil just better?
Yeah, that's so.
Sounds good for me. I'm buying the sunflower oil if I'm living here in Denmark. Now, of course, they've got a huge taco and Mexican food section. Same like Sweden and same like Finland. It really seems like in the Nordic countries, they love Mexican food, which is pretty great. And they've even got a Asian food section, although I don't think Ivana's gonna find her favorite instant noodles.
No.
Indomie.
They got Korean ramen.
They got Korean ramen, but no Indonesian noodles. Fair. All right, so we didn't buy that much today because quite honestly, we can't afford the Airbnbs here in Denmark and we're staying in a hotel with no kitchen. So we can't cook for ourselves. I will say this, the restaurants, if you stay to the tourist area, completely out of whack. So we've been eating at the lesser known establishments, saving our money. But I would say the prices in the grocery store were pretty manageable.
I think so.
Not bad at all. All right, thanks for watching. Simple video today, but long video tomorrow. Later.